So we're going to go ahead and go live, and looks like that's working. That's good, good, good. Welcome everyone to our Success Mastermind for 7-Eleven. Actually just hit the 12th for you across the date line. But actually my father's birthday, which is very easy to remember. I don't know about in Australia and UK and other places, but here in the States, 7-Eleven is like the most famous and popular convenience store. It's open 24 hours a day. What are the other ones? Circle K, Wawa here on the East Coast, Wawa. Yeah, but 7-Eleven, everybody knows 7-Eleven here in the States. Anyway, happy 7-Eleven to you all. Hey, it's Monday, so TGIM. Tonight, I need to cut and color my hair. I don't have any pomade in it either. I was filthy. I've been working out in the garage, changing out hinges and doorknobs and stuff. I'm like a do-it-yourselfer, like, tinkering guy. And I was like drenched. Whoever said Florida is the sunshine state needs to get banged in the head. I'll tell you what, it is like 10 times sunnier in like Arizona and Utah. Like it rains here every day. It's rained here 3 times so far today, and it's noon. So, and like torrential rain. And then, a little bit of sun and then more rain. But I guess that's a summertime thing. But since today is Monday, we do have our book study group that's going to be tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. We are wrapping up Bob Proctor's You Were Born Rich. You Were Born Rich, chapters 9 and 10. So be sure to get through those. And then we will be starting next week. We will be starting our next book, of course. So read the first couple of chapters in this following week. Read the first couple of chapters of Dale Carnegie's Stop Worrying and Start Living, which I've never read before. So hopefully it's great. It's come up several times this week or in the past couple of weeks, which is why we're putting it on our list. And hopefully having read it, like once we're done, then we'll all get to say, why didn't I read that years ago? I probably should have. That reminds me of one other thing. And this came up during our Be Heard session on Friday. So Catherine was there. Lindsay was there. Here comes Linda. She was there as well. We are going to be launching, and this is a special event. It's going to be several weeks worth of a special event. And I'll be sending out communication about this. We're going to be launching a copywriting class. So I'm thinking Thursday nights here in the States. It's going to be really late in the UK, early morning in Australia. But Thursday afternoons, we have pretty much nothing on our calendar. And so this is going to be an event that others outside of our group can purchase. They can get into the class, and it's going to be awesome, I think, because who couldn't use better use of words, right? Really, all copywriting is picking the right words to put next to the picture and then promoting to your audience, right? So that's all copywriting, right? That's sales copy. Now we have in our book study group, we have covered the book Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff, which is, I think, the best book on posture and really the atomic makeup of a relaxed confidence and a non-neediness when it comes to selling and being able to pitch whatever you're pitching, right? So if you're a member here, you've got access to all of the recordings of that. But when it comes to copywriting, we're going to be getting into a book also on sales psychology. But this book is called Made to Stick. And that's one that everyone who I surveyed hadn't read yet. But why do some ideas stick in your mind, whereas others, you forgot all about it? Good question, right? So this book, gets into that. And a lot of copywriters have referred to it as a great source of ideas on choosing the right words so that your message sticks. All right, so here we are. Wow, we're already 5 minutes in. So I do see some of my awesome friends here with us right now. What I was thinking is that today, since I've spent almost my entire weekend not looking at a computer, which is pretty cool. Since we're getting back into the flow of things here on a Monday, it would be a good idea to cover the overcoming of inertia again. So when we have downtime, and some people don't understand. We brought up last week the idea of being a workaholic, okay, which has its uses. Okay, certainly if I'm on purpose and I'm doing and I'm not just sitting loafing, right? That's cool. We can find therapy in that. But there is such a thing as balance in life. Has anybody heard of this? I think it's a myth. I had a friend say balance is that split second I pass over when I'm going from one extreme to the other. There it is. Oh, you missed it. Right. So there is this idea of turning off for a bit. Now, there's lots of reasons to do this. One of which is because you don't just have one role in your life. And if John is the guy who's constantly showing up, constantly, and we show up here a lot, right? So this is something that I do every day except weekends. But we show up here. There's also got to be a time to go recharge the batteries. There's also got to be a time to go have other roles, okay, wear other hats, so to speak. Now, I'm fortunate that I've got a good working relationship, partnership, co-parenting kind of situation with my wife and daughter, right? So first of all, my daughter, anyone who's met her, she's very independent, 11 going on, 20, but and responsible. So that's good, right? So it's not like independent and reckless, okay, but independent and able to make good decisions. I'll pat myself on the back, right? So that's nice, right? That we've, to whatever degree, we've helped her grow into that. So at 11 years old, she can go have sleepovers and she can do this and that. I know she's not going to get herself in too much trouble. Although I think I told you guys on Friday when they got kicked out of the water park. I thought it was because maybe they crapped in the pool or something, but no, it was because of lightning storms. So anyway, no trouble. And then, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take her to the thing. She's got to go to the event. And then, Shannon, my wife, can come pick her up. So these are other hats that we wear. The parenting hat. Right now, my wife is in her office on the south wing of the house. I had to remember my directions. So she's in her office and she's wearing her business hat. And I'm glad she is, because she creates things that, she's better at stuff than I am, right? Just like I'm better at stuff than she is. So we've got different sub roles within that business hat or post. Okay. But we've got to have multiple things in our life. If all we did was work, or if all we did was diversions, right? Like we could say, I mean, despite the fact that I was productive in doing home improvement this weekend, that would be a diversion from this kind of work, right? So we've got to have some sense of balance. Now, I've had, as I already alluded to, I've had a bit of difficulty, or let me say this, I haven't acknowledged the balance that I've experienced, okay, but I've kind of discounted it. Because, and this is something that was covered in Bob's book, You Were Born Rich, okay, because of the idea that I was born into and that I also bought into for years, which was that one has to work for money. Have any of you heard that? I've got to, why do you have your job? Well, I gotta make money, right? Why do you work? I work for the money. Okay, so just listening to that paradigm, okay, it's not just a cliche, it's also a paradigm. It reveals that money is the master and you are the servant, working for money. Okay, rather than money working for you, which would be a more resourceful, I would argue, a more resourceful relationship. So why is this such a popular paradigm, and how does it affect our ability to experience balance? Well, Oscar Wilde said there is one class of people that thinks about money more than the rich, and that is the poor. In fact, the poor can think of nothing else. So does that sound like balance? Thinking of nothing else? Now, I'm not I'm not here to tell you, not to be obsessed with reaching your goals. White hot obsession, as Napoleon Hill said, and good stuff. Okay. But if it's always a work for money or a lack consideration, a lack consciousness, well, then it's always the chase. It's never enough. Where's the balance in that? And so you may experience, here's the balance that's thrust upon you, because now you have to take care of your daughter, or you have to go take out the garbage, or any of these other obligatory actions. But does it feel like balance? Or does it feel like just another have to? There it is. So the balance that I'm talking about, and the idea of being able to switch off, means mentally switching off, actually putting on the other hat, not literally, okay, but saying, all right, now I'm going to do this. It is beach time with the family, or it is home improvement time in the garage, or it is business time with my websites, my clients, my whatever you're doing. But to be able to compartmentalize that and acknowledge that you actually did by choice, not by obligation. Whole different experience. Now, in my case, I got a little paint on my finger. See that? That is paint right there. No, I'm not growing mold. Yes. I'm going to show you guys before and after pictures of this door. I took this door apart. Oh my goodness. Oh. But to experience a life of choice, options, and for that matter, let's use the word opulence. Options and opulence. Wow, I'm coming up with affirmations here today. It's part of my auto suggestion that I provide an opulent lifestyle for my wife and daughter. I see that every day. Okay, so let's look up that word here real quick. Opulent. Great wealth or luxuriousness. That's what opulence is. Adjective, ostentatiously rich and luxurious or lavish. Mid-16th century, from Latin opulent, wealthy, splendid, from opus, wealth. And I've often said, well, you've heard the phrase, money won't buy happiness. Okay. So I've often said, well, yeah, money doesn't buy happiness, but it does buy options. And I like having options. That makes me happy. Okay. So do what you want with the logic. So then being able to live a life by choice and not just by obligation, where it's one have to after another, makes the total difference. We could experience ostensibly and subjectively, we can experience more of a peace of mind when we feel like we're actually in control and have dominion and are, accepting responsibility for that dominion. When we say, you know what, I choose to, or I get to, rather than I have to. When we read the book, James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, this was one little shift that I think a lot of people, it stuck with some of us, right? Where he just said, rather than I have to do the new thing, which I'm forming a habit, I have to go exercise, I have to, no, I get to. What an opportunity, what a gift. And just that one shift from obligation to option, I think now we're going in the right direction. Now, that's not, if we've been indoctrinated into the have to, work for money, obligation, if we've been indoctrinated into that and have bought into that, well, then it's going to feel a little bit weird. Still to this day, I will tell you, there are times when I've done my work and it's good, and when I'm not doing that anymore, and I feel like, you know what, I should be doing the next project. Has anybody ever experienced that? That lends to the workaholism thing. I should be wearing that hat, but right now I'm doing this. And so what I've got to do, and we've talked about this before, I've got to remember to be in present time. There was a day last week. Some of you experienced this. I got it together and I did okay. But there was a day last week where I had just a thorn in my side, where just one thing after another was just like a broken shoelace kind of day. I didn't have a broken shoelace, but a broken shoelace kind of a day, right? Where every little thing, everything I touch, right? And so I had to hit the reset button, metaphorically speaking, and remember, first of all, I'm choosing all this, right? These are projects that I've taken on. And secondly, what I'm experiencing right now, all the suffering is based on my interpretation, my story about it, all my considerations. What if I just, in present time, stop touching this machine, stop doing that project? What if in present time, I go out and take a walk around the block? Terribly therapeutic. I'm telling you, this is good stuff. Get some distance from the space in which I was experiencing these problems and go experience objects, right? So in other words, getting objective, not subjective, objective. Oh, look at the tree. Now, you know what? People, I don't know what people might think of this. I suppose, you've seen people walking around and looking at stuff. Like, what is he looking at? Okay, I don't give a damn what people think about it. I'm walking around the block and I'm looking at trees and the curb and, oh, the well-cut lawn and, oh, there's a bird, right? And present time, with no need to apply a whole lot of evaluation or thinkingness about it, right? There's the tree. That's it. It's the whole story. It's a beautiful way to get back to center or a present. Okay. And isn't it interesting that when we're present with our work or with our daughter or with whatever hat we're wearing, right? Whatever post we're manning, when we're present with that, isn't it interesting that we make less mistakes? So suddenly I come back having had some distance and getting objective, and then I come back and then I can look more accurately at things because I'm not in it. I'm not engrossed in it. Now, just remembering to do that. So a couple of things that I brought up here that we'll want to remember to do. One is obviously to be present. The other one is to recognize that you're choosing. Nobody's holding a gun to your head. You're choosing the actions that you're involved in. You choose your roles in life. And sometimes we need to remember that we actually chose them. And sometimes we need to reinterpret when we feel like we're living a experience of obligations. Thank you, Janet, for your text. Yep. There you go. I mean, you can, and sometimes I do that. Janet was saying, look at the shape of the leaves, the texture of the bark. Okay. So sometimes it's, big survey, right? Look at the whole thing, right? Look at everything. Sometimes it's down to a little, oh, look at the ant, right? Big, small. This is an interesting exercise too on when you're driving. This is good driving, by the way, is look 12 seconds ahead and look 2 seconds ahead. You do this on a motorcycle, right? Look through the turn. What's way down there? What's here, there, here, rather than fixating close, which a lot of people do. They fixate right on what's in front of them. Think ahead, look ahead. So big, small, which, thank you, Janet, because that brings me to the third thing that we could remember to do is to shift our gaze or our depth of vision. In other words, to not fixate on stuff so much, but to remember to snap out of it and see the bigger picture. So in the bigger picture, all right, yes, we do have, I'll speak for myself, I do have balance. I didn't acknowledge it for a long time because I've fixated myself onto this. Here's work, or here's this, or here's that, and it felt all consuming. But when we can step back and we can see the bigger picture, even if you're experiencing. So here we are Monday. You're experiencing the ramping up of business actions that you had not done over the weekend or whatever you did, and you may feel like now you're engrossed in these business actions. One way to survey a larger scene is to remember you chose this. You could go get a job at 7-Eleven, but no, you chose this. So in the bigger picture, you're doing what you want by choice. And yeah, you get to solve problems too. There are people at 7-Eleven get to solve problems. For those who tuned in late, it's July 11th. So 7-Eleven. Now, I know America, United States, I believe, is the only country that puts month before day before year. So like if you write out like what's today's date, it's 7-11-22. I think the whole rest of the world would be 11-7-22, which obviously makes more sense. But hey, we're still on imperial measurements over here, right? We've got inches and feet and Fahrenheit, and there's that. I'm going to blame the English because you guys invented it, and you know we bought that deal, and we just never unbought it. Okay, what am I talking about? Talking about acknowledging balance in our life and deliberately remembering that you chose this, right? And that you've got multiple roles, and that if you're being accurate, if you're in present time, you're not in your story about everything, but if you're being accurate about, you know, your roles, then you're going to find you make less mistakes and you tend to be happier. You get to experience options and ultimately opulence, right? Which is, I mean, what qualifies as opulence? You know, in the definition of the word, it would be, you know, wealth, luxury, and all this. Well, you know what? I will tell you that the fact that we're sitting here with internet access, shelter, food, water, clothing that isn't torn up, like the shirt I was wearing when I was in the garage, I just changed my shirt. God bless black polo shirts. All I got to do is take off the old t-shirt, put on the black polo shirt. Business John, it's in the house, even though I got a little bit of paint on my thumb. All right. So, but we've got opulence. Okay. So there's a, like I was saying before, the never enough thing, right? Well, there's billionaires who probably feel broke. I don't know. I've never been a billionaire, not yet anyway. You know, and then there's people. Have I ever told you guys the story about, when I was in Fiji? We went and visited this village, and some of the happiest people I've ever met. Kids are like playing in mud, chickens running around. They were as wealthy as they cared to be. It was totally different barometer, right? Totally different. But are you experiencing that which you want in your life? I hope so. Be conscious of that. I'm going to work on continuing to be conscious of that. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to me. Who's got some Monday thoughts here on this 7-Eleven extravaganza? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So please come on out, and no need to raise hands. Just come on out. Hello, Lynn Perry. Hi, Lynn.
Okay. You were talking about the different roles that we have, and I think one of the best ways to sort of stop overwhelm and broken shoelace days is to define the boundaries of each role. So you go, okay, that's enough for that today, and I'm not having anybody else put stuff on me there. And it enables you to have more choice, and enable you to have more free time, and then to come back to be more refreshed, to be more effective.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So I think Lynn just handled that in 30 seconds. She just handled what I talked about for 25 minutes. There you go. So thank you, Lynn. You get to host tomorrow. All right. Hi, Linda.
That's funny. Yeah, so balance. That was like, this weekend in Connecticut was like the most perfect 2 days you could imagine. It was dry. It was cool at night, like down in the mid 50s,
Oh my goodness.
like tenting weather, and I sit out on my porch every morning and I have my coffee and I look out on my yard, at the flowers or whatever, and just start my day peacefully. But then I'm looking at weeds. I'm like, ugh. Yeah. So because it was so beautiful, I went out Saturday morning and I weeded my garden, which inspired me to edge my sidewalk, which inspired me to refurbish a wagon wheel that I had in my garden. And the weekend before I painted the patio furniture. Bill had painted the deck, and now we can sit in our yard, back and front, and just be peaceful, which allows me to focus on other things now.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to focus on my business on Saturday as well. So I found that balance. I said, I'm going to work until such and such time, and then I'm going to take time to do this and then go back to that. But yeah, just being outdoors in nature. And I mean, I didn't wake up in the morning on Saturday saying I'm going to weed my garden, but it just happened. And I forgot how much I really enjoy doing that stuff.
Mm.
Oh, I even power washed the sidewalk.
My goodness.
I got so much done, and it was just a snowball effect. It was like, okay, this looks great. Now let's do this. Let's do this.
Right.
And that's like been on my to-do list probably for 2 years, and I got it all done in 2 days. So.
Well done, Linda. Now,
Yeah,
let me ask you this. Wasn't that like empowering, therapeutic, gratifying?
Absolutely it was. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that was the beauty of it, And then this morning I focused on, the laundry that I didn't get to, and so that's done. Yeah.
So we're talking about creating order, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
That is so, like, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And let me ask you, Linda, because in my relationship, Shannon and I have our differences and similarities. Do you find in your midst, in your environment, others assist with creating order or go in the other direction?
Oh, definitely. I'm the one that goes in the other direction.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Bill is definitely more orderly than me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's like, you take it out, you put it back. Yeah.
Got it.
So
that's interesting.
It depends on the day. It depends on, how much time I have, if I'm in a rush or not, which is what I try not to do. So like, yeah, the weekend was just amazing. Like I got so much done.
Wow. So
and now I get to come home. Yeah.
So even from a person who tends to be, we'll say, less orderly than you have been this weekend, it was still gratifying for you to get those things where you wanted them. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I am an orderly person I don't like to look at chaos, but there are times when I just can't get to the chaos. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to invite you, Linda, to come to Florida and to help me pull the rest of this Virginia creeper out of my sweet viburnum. Okay. This is the most nasty stuff. We talked about it before. It is unbelievable how this stuff just infiltrates, and it's an ivy kind of a weed. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but does it have roots that tunnel? Yeah. It's like almost
as much as
to get rid of.
As much as there is above ground, there's as much below ground. And some of the roots are like that big around. It is unreal.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like the Pachysandra. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
I pulled some of that too. Yeah. Yeah, but it was definitely enjoyable because I was able to now sit back and just see how beautiful it looks. Of course, it would look better if I had mulch, but
awesome.
That's another day.
Mulch is on sale at Home Depot, so go grab some.
I'm sure it is.
All right.
I'll
Thank
have to
you.
get Bill over there to get it. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Linda.
You're
awesome. You look great. All right.
Thanks.
Anybody else?
Well,
Let's have
my place is,
Janet. Hi, Janet.
yeah, my husband's way more orderly than I am. Um, so I'm thankful for him for many reasons. But yeah, so I'm interested in so many things. I want to learn so many things. I want to do so many things that my plate gets very full. So I learned from somebody else, big plate, small spoon. That's what I'm dealing with. But life for me is about discovery and learning and passing it on, helping other people discover things. So, but I can get to the point easily of overwhelm. Okay, I want to do all these things. I've signed up for all these things. There's just too much here. When do I have time to actually implement? Because I'm taking so much in. But I'm getting there. But finding the balance of, okay, I just need some downtime. I need some, just change the whole view time. And as you said, John, when you come back, you're more productive because you've kind of cleared the cobwebs out, picked up the weeds, just gotten close to nature, doing something where you get revived. And that's so important because if we're nose to the grindstone all the time, we don't even feel it after a while, and everything else, relationships and all of the rest goes away. And if you don't have the joy and you don't have that feeds the why, and if you don't have that, then what are you doing? So that's the thing, always to remind myself of, I'm not wasting time by doing that. I am actually in a way creating more effective time when I get back to it. So that's important that you said that. And I love options too. I don't want to think that I'm just in a small place where I can't breathe and where I can't do anything to try to struggle out of it. Struggle is not effective. It pushes us down rather than raises us up. So, how do we not get into that kind of a place? That's very important to know for ourselves and to steer clear of. So I think that's, something that I work on as well. So yeah. And when I wrote in there about we can say there's a tree, there's a lawn, but are we looking at it? Are we experiencing it? Are we feeling it? Or just going through naming things? That's less of a powerful journey just to name things than it is to really look at them and be one with them. I mean, you don't walk down the street and go, okay, not tree, leaves, you don't do it every day, but the thing of experiencing it more fully, whatever we're doing, experiencing it more fully. Trinity makes us something where they go, oh yeah, that's a nice mug. How about the pattern on it that she's created, the texture she's going for, the something more than that, because we tend to dismiss things. And when we dismiss things, we lose the, what do I want to say? We lose the fullness of experience. And it's the fullness of experience, I think, that brings us the joy and makes things worthwhile. Otherwise, if we just put a sticker on everything with names, we're not doing anything better than what we were doing before. So anyway, so I thank you for, even though I'm sorry I came late, but all this stuff, and you're driving the 2 second, 12 seconds, I think that you said. Sometimes I was taught to look ahead when driving, but I've gone through red lights that way because I didn't get back to the nearness. I was so focused on the one that was a block away, I didn't see the one that was, I was coming up to. So it was green. I went through.
Oh, wow.
Dangerous. So, in so many ways to keep the focus back and forth, I think has a lot of implication, not just for driving, but on your business, you're thinking, okay, what are my goals? What am I going for? But what am I doing now? You know, the back and forthness of that is, you know, what am I doing? What are my baby steps, perhaps my big steps to get there? But where is it I'm going? So this back and forth focus, I think you've, you know, hit on something that's very important for us, you know, all the little things that need to be taken care of in order to get there, the back and forth. So even though that was maybe something you didn't think was as profound, I think it is actually.
Well,
Yes,
good. I'm
yeah.
glad you were here to experience it.
Me too. Thank you.
But you know, my tendency is to fixate on what's close, right? So like in the driving scenario, it's, you know, every second or so, switch. I mean, you got to, especially if you're going at a high rate of speed, you got to switch a lot, right?
And if you're in something that doesn't protect your body so much.
Sure. So, but is that not also workable with, you know, here I am on the, you know, making the website or something. All right, switch. Okay, switch, right? So getting unfixated, I think, is the thing that, the profundity, if you will, that allows me to remember, yeah, this is my choice. I'm living a life of options, right? I do have balance there, and it's not being so damn fixated or obligated, right? So, but definitely, Janet, don't run red lights. Okay. Far close. That's how you drive.
Well, I was taught shifty eyes. You look in the rearview mirror, you look ahead, you know, so that's where that was going, you know, before, but yeah, but I can see how this, you get lost in the weeds.
Okay.
Otherwise, you know, you're so into what you're doing, which you want to be. But you need to get a little perspective to come back and see, you know, am I too ultra focused that I'm not seeing the picture, and I'm getting, you know, I think, you know, doing the overall and coming back and doing the little bits and doing the overall and the little bits help to balance even that process. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I promise, John, I will not only look far ahead.
All right. Thank you, Janet.
Thank you, John.
Okay. Anybody else today on balance, options, and opulence? On 7-Eleven. All right. Last two chapters. Bob Proctor, You Were Born Rich. Make sure you got a copy of Stop Worrying and Start Living, Dale Carnegie. And I'll be back here with you guys tonight at 9 p.m. By the way, anybody could participate in the book study review group, right? And that is by going to jlsuccessmastermind.com/books. And they can go ahead and get on the list. If you're seeing this on YouTube, you want to do that. 100% free. And I will hopefully see you guys there.